Julie, thank you very much. The mayor of District Heights, Maryland, caught up in a sex scandal this morning, arrested in a prostitution sting.
Let me tell you something. Tony's forecast has not changed in the last 3 hours, so don't think he's working too hard out here this morning, okay?
A former police officer convicted in a deadly shooting in Prince George's County is now accused of hiding a key in his shirt. Sometimes maybe you want to be behind home plate in the money seats, and sometimes maybe you want the view from up above. Maybe you want to see the Capitol. Tony's been practicing all morning, stretching, reading the rules, trying to learn how to play basketball.
Reading the rules.
Steve Chenevey is live in Miami with the latest details this morning. Steve.
Well, Bob and Allison, good morning once again. Let me set the stage a little bit as to what folks are going to see later today here on the Florida International University campus. We want to talk a little bit about the Mass itself, the structure of the Mass, the message of the Mass today. A lot of people waiting to see what the homily will be.
Now with Hillary's big wins last night, does she pick up any of that momentum?
And they were all excited, not just about being here because there was a presidential candidate on their campus, but excited about the whole presidential election process. And just about everybody that I talked to said, you know what, we need to get more people our age more involved in politics.
One of this season's finalists, a D.C. native, and Fox 5's Will Thomas caught up with him tonight.
Many of the people here have no idea what happened in other parts of the world, asking us what happened in the last 2 weeks. It is a very, very quiet Virginia Tech campus this morning. One of the things that's been a big topic this week has been campus security. To find a proper way to respond to this, I think, is a process that continues to evolve.
Indeed.
At the same time, there are those critics who say this was mishandled. And how do you respond to that?
Steve is the... Oh, very nice.
It's tough in the dress shoes.
What's that? You're in dress shoes?
In the dress shoes. Of course, we're talking about Stan Kasten, the president of the Washington Nationals, kind enough to join us this morning. Thanks for being here.
My pleasure. Where else would I be? Come on.
I know you've been down here 24/7, it seems, when you're not at spring training in Florida. It seems like when everybody got together to plan this ballpark, you guys collectively tried to take the fans' view of things.
Yeah. Well, that was something important to me, really important to the Lerner family.
What do you see coming out of spring training that you like? What do you see that you need to work on?
Well, I think we have a much better offense that's going to be exciting for our fans.
Feel more pressure to make sure that now that we especially have a winning club, since we have the new ballpark to show off?
Well, we felt pressure from day one to build the best team we could. That's why we're here.
If you say this is the way you wanted it to go out, does that mean this is it for Rocky?
Oh yeah, I have to. You think I'm going to that beating again?
It's going to be a hostile environment. We know that. And, you know, we just got to play smart basketball.
Yeah, they really do. The series returns to Cleveland on Wednesday. It is a must-win game. Game 5, what is this? That's me and Ashley Simpson from the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Don't know
How did that get in there? Oh my goodness, that was Saturday night. All right, continue with the sports now, please. The Washington Redskins have not had many draft picks lately. Wow, I don't know where that came from. All right, on the racetrack, it was a great... What is this? Is that me with Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner?
Oh my goodness.
This is getting embarrassing, folks.
Are these real
It
photos?
looks like I'm just showing off here.
Yeah, it really does.
This is crazy.
Jennifer Garner's so pretty.
Isn't she, though? Yeah, Ben was a little disturbed because she was giving me a little too much attention.
Yeah, well, he was looking on this way.
Because he was upset. He didn't want to look at me.
Well, he should be.
Yeah, he should be.
All right. Thanks, Steve.
Here, guys. Take a look at where I am now. Way up here in the club level, and there is a good reason for being here because we're going to take a VIP tour of the suites and some of the other behind-the-scenes goodies coming up. Now, I guess I could have taken a steering wheel off before I climbed out. It would have made it easier. Joe Gibbs and I talked about racing more than we talked about football that day, even though we were excited to talk about the Redskins season. It's quite simply the need for speed. All right, the richest man in the world, that's an easy one. Bill Gates, right?
Right.
No, not anymore. We're going to tell you who tops that list right now. Allison's new best friend. Coming up next on Fox 5 Morning News. Julie, thank you very much. The mayor of District Heights, Maryland, caught up in a sex scandal this morning, arrested in a prostitution sting. James Walls is accused of soliciting sex from an undercover male officer. Fox 5's Claudia Coffey live in District Heights this morning with more on this one and how the community is responding. Claudia? Now, they did not evacuate the building, and we are told everything is fine this morning. Also, new developments tonight out of London, where the British military has yanked Prince Harry from the front lines. They are sending him home. Britain's defense chief decided to pull Harry out of Afghanistan immediately after news of his deployment was released. Chris Wallace has an exclusive sit-down interview with Senator Barack Obama. I've always said if you ask somebody at least 700 times, eventually they'll come around.
That's right.
When you see the police dogs there as well as they, it looks like they're dragging that second person out. And you can only hope that nobody gets hurt in this situation because it's been very tense all morning with a lot of officers there, guns drawn. All right, we talked about it a minute ago. I said I hated ironing, and Allison said she would be happy to do my clothes for me. But if you don't have an Allison and you want to remove the wrinkles from your clothes 5 times faster than ironing,
Then that's where the Toby steamer comes in.
at least it claims to.
It claims to.
They have not lost a game in 6 years, and today, our Fox 5 Storm Force, led by Tony Perkins and Tucker Barnes, hoping to change that. They will take them on in a game you do not want to miss.
No.
So stick around. Tony's been practicing all morning, stretching, reading the rules, trying to learn how to play basketball.
Reading the rules.
And it should be a good match later tonight.
I understand you have to bounce the ball the entire time you have it.
Right.
Yes, you do. You cannot hold it. You cannot run with it unless you're in the NBA.
Unless, yeah.
Oh,
It's amazing how the NBA has changed.
Anyway, good morning. Thanks for being with us at this 8 o'clock hour.
I wouldn't be shocked if we get to the court and they've left.
Right.
Nothing but tumbleweeds and crickets on that court.
Will there be trash talking today?
I'm sure they will. I'll bet they talk some trash.
Do you think they need to after seeing what we just saw?
Yeah.
Catch your breath, Tony. Take the shot.
They are.
Have a great weekend.
Bye, everybody.
Now, here's the deal. A construction worker who just happened to be a Red Sox fan working in New York, hoping to jinx the Yankees, buried a Boston Red Sox jersey in the concrete in a service corridor. Now, guys, I told you I would go to the game yesterday in hopes of reversing the Nationals trend since Tony put the bad karma on him.
Jinxer.
I started digging around the ballpark, and this is what I found. Was a Braves jersey that was buried underneath Nationals Park. And if you look closely here in the tomahawk, it looks like the signature is Tony Perkins.
Yeah.
I've never seen that jersey before.
You should be ashamed of yourself. It's all done now.
Oh, there you go.
Beautiful shot of the sun this morning. Sure feels a lot warmer than the 51 degrees it is outside in Washington right now. The day is certainly off to a great start, and again, Mass begins in just about 90 minutes. But then there are so many people that are saying, well, I'm not Catholic, so how does this affect me? Well, what comes out of it? It's going to be an interesting interfaith meeting to learn about how all these different religions work together. And it's interesting, when I talked to a number of these leaders early in the week, they are more excited about the Pope being here because they feel that this can help to strengthen the ties between these different religions, which essentially would help everyone. Every jersey or pseudo jersey needs a number, right?
Right.
So we've got the name and the number on the back, and there you go. The starting lineup today will be Benedict wearing number 16.
Sort of a youthful and fun
It kind of makes it fun, right? We can see the Popmobile starting to move behind us right now as it is coming right out from that center field gate. There you see it. I would say what a moment, but what a 2 hours we just saw. It's just amazing, and it's hard to imagine unless you experience it. Is the response that we had from so many people here. And he did not dodge a lot of these issues that have been brought up throughout the Catholic Church and also here in America. As a matter of fact, when he was speaking about America, he said, and I'm quoting here from the homily, you know, it's a time of great promise in America. However, we also see clear signs of a disturbing breakdown of the foundation of society, signs of alienation, anger, and polarization on the part of our contemporaries, increased violence, a weakening of the moral sense, a coarsening of social relations, and a growing forgetfulness of God. Wow. Okay, it's a beautiful ballpark. Here in Washington, we're going to love it. But when you put it on the national stage, what's going to make this ballpark unique to Washington? It's one of the biggest in baseball, but how does that thing work? We're going to go inside the control room, and we're going to show you. Coming up, the place is still crawling with construction workers putting the finishing touches on what is a project that has now been going on for more than 3 years. I measured it off. About 17 inches away from the ball field. How cool is that you can be that close to the action on the field? It's kind of the catalyst when we think about the infusion of black baseball players into the major leagues. But a lot of people don't realize how popular the Negro Leagues were, not just in general, but here in Washington. Well, Brad Snyder does. We started asking around, okay, how much would it cost for a typical, say, family of 4 to come down to the ballpark? So we crunched the numbers when it comes to tickets and concessions and maybe pick up a few souvenirs along the way. And this is what we found.
Oh, great. Steve's here, too.
We need to put like a little workout area down here for the fans to work off everything we're going to eat. Look who we found hiding out back here at the ballpark. That's one of the principal owners, Mark Lerner. You can actually see the chair that President Kennedy sat in when he threw out that first pitch. And then you can also see President Bush down here at the same time on Sunday night. How great is that? And
pretty neat.
I have to tell you, he's being really modest. He is like a kid in the candy store down here.
I would say so.
One of the things that's been a big topic this week has been campus security. Was the campus secure enough on Monday? Could something have been done to prevent this event, specifically the second attack?
I know 3 of my colleagues that are dead this morning. I remember hearing 40 to 50 gunshots.
When you first found out yesterday how high the death toll was, what was the initial feeling among the students? Was it a feeling of anger? Was it a feeling of sadness?
More than anything, it was just a feeling of utter sadness and shock.
You said that this is the worst day of your life. Because I think this is where you have to be careful, because of course in hindsight it's very easy to see what a lot of people said were signs that could have led up to this and said, oh yeah, sure, I could see why he would have done that, or how he possibly could have done that. I know, Governor, it seems like this is hard for everybody here in the Blacksburg area, across the Commonwealth of Virginia, and now around the world actually, and I'm sure that you're starting to hear condolences coming in from all over the country and the world.
Indeed.
Hopefully through the services that we had yesterday and that candlelight vigil last night, that's a show of things moving in the right direction.
Yeah, thanks, Steve.
Governor, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it. We're going to have much more from the campus here in Blacksburg coming up in just a little bit, but Bob and Allison, right now we want to send it back to Washington.